you're planning a trip anytime soon, I want to let you in on something people almost never think about until it's too late. Most vacations don't get ruined by bad weather or bad luck. They get ruined by tourists making the same mistake every single day. And the crazy part is that almost all of these mistakes are preventable. Do you ever wonder why some people come back home raving about the best trip of their life, while others come back stressed, broke, and exhausted? It's not chance, it's choices. And here's what no one tells you: one tiny decision at the start of your trip can save you hours of waiting, hundreds of dollars, and days of frustration. And most travelers, they miss it completely.
Absolutely.
And that's why today we're going to show you what those decisions are, why tourists keep getting trapped by the same problems, and how you can avoid every single one of them so your vacation actually feels like a vacation. Hey everyone, I'm Rick.
And I'm Andrea, and we live right here in Italy. We see tourists make the same mistakes all the time. And for that reason, we come up with this list of top 10 most common ones that can turn your dream vacation into a total disappointment. Also, we want to stress out that these mistakes don't apply only to travel to Italy, but to pretty much everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And they're in no particular order, we just put them the way we want. So let's fix your next trip before you even book your flight, starting with the first mistake: spending too much time trying to take the perfect photo. We get it. You plan your dream vacation, you have looked at thousands of Instagram posts and photos of your destination, and you totally want the same photo that everybody else have. The problem? Some travelers spend half of the day trying to capture the perfect photo in the perfect spot. When you're traveling to a very popular destination, you will have to compete with thousands of other tourists for the same shot. And if you want the perfect shot with nobody around, you will have to wait for a very long time, if even possible. You should ask yourself, is it worth wasting hours of my holiday to take a photo? We don't think so. Especially now with AI, you can remove pretty much all the people from your photo in one click. So, in our opinion, you should take a couple of shots, then put your phone away and actually enjoy the piazza, the gelato, the architecture, the moment,
How about a glass of wine?
or your holiday. Trust us, your memories will be better than any photo.
Yes, this is all very good advice. Now, let's move on to our next mistake that's very common today as well, and that's chasing the same, well, viral restaurants that everyone else is going to. So we see this all the time in Italy, right? People wait in line for hours to buy a sandwich, like a sandwich or a gelato. I mean, is it worth it? Maybe, but we believe that your time is more important. Also, the best food is usually not the place with the longest Instagram line. No, we recommend going just a few streets away from those major attractions. Look for the restaurants where the menu isn't in 10 different languages, doesn't have photos of every kind of dish known to mankind, and most importantly, where the locals are actually eating. You're going to spend less, you're going to eat better, and you're going to avoid the traps. And if you're not sure about a restaurant, check the reviews on Google. And most importantly, check the more recent ones.
Next mistake is incredibly common and cost you money and sore back, and that is overpacking. This is a mistake we see every day here in Italy. Tourists lugging a huge suitcase around, lifting them on trains, struggling lifting them up and down stairs. Also nowadays, airlines charge for extra weight or extra bags all the time. So you end up overpacking and it will cost you a lot of money. Bottom line, pack the essential. Most of the time, half of the clothes you pack with you, you end up not even using them.
Right?
Choose outfit that you can mix and match. In the summer, bring breathable clothes. In the fall and in the spring, bring layers. That way you can dress warm in the morning and at night, while you can remove some of the layer at noon when the temperatures are higher. If you stay at bed and breakfast, make sure to book some that have laundry. That way you can wash your clothes after way during your vacation. Also, you can use laundromats. They are available pretty much everywhere, and those are a very good option to do some laundry while you're traveling. Also, avoid bulky, heavy items like air dryers or curling iron. They take a lot of room, lots of weight, and most of the time they don't even work because of the voltage difference. Lastly, you do not need to bring several pairs of shoes, just a comfortable walking pair to go out and explore, and maybe a more dressier pair to go out at dinner if you go to a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, if you have to, right? All right, so let's move on to another mistake that will surely turn your vacation from a nice, relaxing one into an exhausting and perhaps bad experience. And that's trying to see everything all at once, right? Now, people ask us all the time, I've got 10 days and I want to see Rome, Florence, Venice, Naples, Amalfi Coast, Cinque Terre, Pisa, Milan. Oh, and on my way home, I want to stop over in Paris and London. How can you do that? Simple answer is you can't. Now, look, if you want, if you end up packing too many destinations in one trip, you're not going to see what you really ought to. I mean, you're going to end up, I mean, if you do, you're going to end up just being exhausted. In our opinion, you should be picking fewer destinations, the ones that you really want to see, and spend more time in each of those and actually enjoy the culture, the food, the atmosphere without rushing from train to train, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, another important aspect that most tourists seem to miss is the fact that when you go from one place to another, you're going to have to commute, and commuting takes time, right? Train, car, bus, plane, it all takes time. I mean, if you want to go from Rome to Venice, it could take 4 hours just on the train. It's like half of your day when you consider the time to get to the train station and the time to get to your hotel. So when you plan, you have to consider, this whole time component as well.
Absolutely. Now, let's see another silly mistake that tourists make all the time that will ruin your holiday, and is spending too much time answering your email. That sounds familiar. You didn't fly half the way across the globe to sit on your laptop or in front of your phone replying to work emails.
I didn't.
No, you don't. Trust us, we see people doing all this mistake all the time. They are in front of the Colosseum, and instead of admiring the beauty of what is in front of them, they are on their phone answering work emails. Ask yourself, do I really need to do that? Do I really need to spend all that money in flights, hotel, restaurant, and attraction just to waste my time on my phone? In our opinion, you should set aside an hour or two of your day to check your email and then relax and enjoy your vacation. Even better, use the commute time on the train to catch up with your email and then just enjoy and explore what you're actually seeing and recharge your battery. Even better, turn on an autoresponder if you can, and that way you don't have to deal with the email all at all.
Yeah, this is very, very good advice. Okay, let's move to our next travel mistake that we see happen quite often, and that's not experiencing the local culture. I mean, we covered that with the food, right? Well, tourists, they often go to the same food chain, right, that they find in their backyard. If you experience the local food, the local culture, and the local way of life, well, we think that it will change the way you see your holiday. I mean, it's an essential part of traveling. I mean, think about it. You spent a ton of money, right, on those hotels, those flights. I mean, why not immerse yourself in the local culture? Otherwise, why bother traveling, right?
Absolutely.
Just go to McDonald's at home. Experience the local cuisine, experience the local restaurant, immerse yourself in the local culture, and you're going to see how much richer your experience will be once you get home.
Absolutely. Let's move on to another mistake that will turn your vacation into major disappointment and is not planning enough.
I think you overplan, actually.
I might, but
Yes, but
some destination require some planning in advance. For example, you can't come to Italy and think that you can go to the Colosseum and buy your tickets on the spot. No, the same can said for the Vatican Museum in Rome, the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, and the Louvre in Paris, and many other sites around the world. Those places are extremely popular and are packed with tourists, and the line at the entrance most of the time is insane. For this reason, it is essential that you buy your ticket in advance. To do so, you have to plan your trip in advance. For example, if you know that you will be spending 3 days in Rome, set aside half a day for the Colosseum and the Forum. By the way, here's a good QR code for the skip the line tickets to the Colosseum and the Forum, and another half of the day for the Vatican Museum, and then buy the tickets as soon as you can. That way, you will have plenty of availability and option for time slots. Otherwise, they get sold out pretty quickly. Once you have booked the most famous attraction, you can then decide to spend the rest of your vacation freely in the city, roaming around and just go wherever you like. Now, the same rule apply to restaurants. But the most popular restaurants are sold out pretty quickly. So if you really want to go to the specific place that you some people told you, make your reservation in advance. That way you wouldn't not be sold out.
That's great advice. We do that all the time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to another essential mistake that can turn your vacation into a life or a potentially life threatening situation, and that's forgetting your essential items. Now, I can't tell you how many travelers forget, right? Medications, glasses, sunscreens, adapter, and then scramble to find those replacements. You waste so
Mhm.
much time. For medications, bring enough to at least cover your trip plus an extra month. You never know, right? And also bring a copy of your doctor's prescription with you just in case. And the same goes for contact lenses, right? Bring enough to cover your stay plus some extra just in case. Maybe you lose them, maybe you need more. And if you wear prescription glasses, bring a spare pair with you in case you break them or lose them. And most importantly, for your medications, your contacts, your glasses, and your documents, they all need to be packed in your carry on. Never pack these essential items in your checked bag because checked bags get lost and delayed all the time. So you don't want to risk having your medication sent to Istanbul when you're visiting Bangkok, right?
Yeah.
And as a bonus, create a simple checklist before you leave with your most essential items. And that way you can be sure to pack everything securely.
Let's cover another very common mistake that tourists make that can ruin your vacation, and that's not budgeting correctly.
Oh, I remember my first trip to
Mhm. Traveling doesn't have to be expensive, but cost adds up fast, and you are not if you're not prepared. Meals, trains, drinks, museum, they sneak up on you. You will need to have a plan and check your expenses. We are not suggesting that you walk around with a spreadsheet and mark items all the time, but checking your spending at least once a day is a good habit. You don't want to be that person that maxes out the credit card on day 4 and then you are forced to eat cereal for the rest of the holiday. Here are some tips to save some money while traveling. Book hotels that includes free breakfast. That way you can have a nice big breakfast, a small cheap lunch, and then you can splurge a little for dinner. Also use public transit when available, especially in Europe and Asia. It's efficient, easy, and very cheap. Don't go crazy with souvenirs. You do not need 17 snow globes. If you need cash, always use ATM at the local bank. Don't use the one at the bar or at the souvenir store. Those charges an insane amount of money in currency conversion. Lastly, if you use your credit card and the machine asks you if you want to pay in local currency or your own currency, always choose the local currency, like euros, for example. Otherwise, you will be stuck with a terrible, terrible exchange rate.
Yep, this is very, very true. Okay, so let's talk about the last tourist mistake that you don't want to be doing, right? And that's not booking refundable rates for hotels. That's kind of a double negative, right?
Yep.
Well, hear me out. Now, it might seem to contradict what Andrea just said, but hear me out. Whenever possible, choose refundable rates for hotels and trains. It will cost you most likely a little bit more, but it could save you a ton of money and stress if your plans change, because they often do. Also, if you book a refundable rate and you find a better rate somewhere else, guess what? You can cancel and book it or book the other option. I mean, let me explain to you something that happened to us just 2 summers ago. We were traveling to London and we noticed a good rate at a hotel downtown, and it was prepaid and, of course, non refundable. A few days before our trip, we noticed that the rate for the same hotel was, well, hundreds of pounds cheaper
And the same rule.
for the same room just today. We contacted the hotel to have the price adjusted. Of course, they said, yeah, right. The rate that we booked was non refundable, and well, we're out of luck. And we tried, and yeah, we were just stuck paying more money. I think it was like £60 per night.
Yeah,
Look, lesson learned. From that moment on, we always book refundable rates, even though it might be a little bit expensive at the beginning, but because in the end, it gives us all the flexibility that we want.
absolutely.
So there you have it. These are the 10 biggest tourist mistakes that people make and how to avoid them. Have you ever done any of these?
Yeah. Have you ever seen people making them? Tell your personal story in the comment below. We love to hear back from you. And while you're there, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos.
Mhm.
In the meantime, we'll see you in our next video. Ciao!